We're going to focus on transferring inventory from one warehouse to another in VSCO, and then some of the reports that are available to capture the history or review the history of transfers. So it's all going to be done from the inventory menu, and it's in this lower section here, warehouse transfers. So to initiate a new transfer, you click on this link, start a warehouse transfer. The requirement here is you must choose a warehouse. So I'm going to choose this Ileana warehouse. Now there's other options here which you can choose, and I do recommend you choosing at least one of these to filter further, or else the results can get a little overwhelming, because what it's going to do, if you only choose warehouse, it's going to give you every single venture or every single lot available in that warehouse, which depending on how much inventory you have in a warehouse, that could be a huge number. So to make it manageable, I'm going to pre-filter by product. Now, notice how in this case there's check boxes here, which what that means is you can filter by more than one product at a time. So if you wanted to say, I want to see all the 6-ounce tuna and all of this product, click Add Products, and notice it lists them both here in the grid. So we'll say that in the Ileana warehouse. I'm not going to apply additional filters. I'll just leave it at that for now. And I'll click Proceed. So returns a list of all the ventures, and we'll choose a warehouse that we're transferring to. I'll choose Epic, and a date that we're starting the transfer. So I'll choose today, 15/18. Now you can put comments in here or notes. What I see people use this for is either a cost. So if you want to keep track of some costing information, if the warehouse is charging you, or you're booking freight and the freight carrier is going to charge you something, you can put that information in here. Any reference numbers that's coming from the warehouse, those kinds of things, because you'll see there's a warehouse transfer log that keeps track of every transfer that you've made, and the comments is one of the things that appears in that log. Now you notice next to each venture number, there's a plus button here. So what this is going to do, if you've got more than one lot associated with venture, then if you click that plus button, it'll give you a breakdown of all those different lots. And this is going to vary depending on your configuration. So if you don't keep track of lot details, then you don't have that plus button at all. If you do keep track of lot details, it'll break out the lots separately. It gives you the total quantity in that lot. And then in this case, I've got it packaged in cartons. So it tells me how many cartons are remaining and the weight per carton. So I'm going to say I'm going to transfer 10 cartons, and we know it's at 100 pounds per carton. Now you have to check off the lot that you're choosing from, just so it knows, and you can indicate the number of cartons. If you don't put anything in there, it assumes that you're transferring the whole lot. But I'm just going to say I'm only going to transfer a portion of the lot, and we'll put something in the comments here. $300. So that saves it. I'm going to click Done, which brings us into this next screen, which is the receiving. Now, something I want to mention about this is if this is a setting whether or not you want the system to bring you directly into the receiving screen or not. If you choose not, then it brings you into, let me go back out to the inventory menu. You have the ability to generate documents around a warehouse transfer. So these need to be set up if they haven't already been set up. But you would pick the warehouse that you're transferring. And then there's a delivery order, a packing list, and a route plan. 3 separate documents that can all be generated around warehouse transfers. So if you're arranging for the trucking, there's a document designed to go to the trucker. There's a document designed to go to the warehouse. And if it's your own trucking, then there's a route plan that's designed to go to your driver. That's specifically telling them where he's dropping it off. I'm going to go into, say I want to receive a warehouse transfer. This gives me a list of anything that's currently moving to warehouse. So in-transit warehouse transfers are all listed, and each one has a separate ID or group ID. And that also gets listed in this log I was referring to earlier. So this one's moving. That's the last time it was updated. That's where it's shipping from, where it's shipping to. Specifically the lots and information about what's being transferred, and then the cost. So I'm going to select this one. We'll say we want to receive it on the same day, 5, 15, 18. And if the warehouse we're receiving it into gives us a receipt number, you can keep record of that as well, and I'll click receive. So that now brings it into inventory. If I were to go into inventory now to look at this, one way to do it is go into inventory, inventory management. I'll choose a specific warehouse. In that case, it was Epic. And I'll choose a product as well, which was, in that case, 6-ounce tuna. So I'm saying, show me any 6-ounce tuna in Epic right now. And returns a list of multiple ventures here, actually. And this is the one that we just transferred in. It says there's 1,000 pounds associated with that lot. By the way, if and it gives me the date it was received and everything and my cost. If we click into this button, this packing list, I don't love the name of this, but what it really is the history of the lot. So in the general information, it tells us how much we initially ordered, what we received, what we sold, what's available to sell in pounds and in cartons. There's a history of warehouse transfers. So a record of every single transfer, when the transfer was done, when it started, when it was received, where it shipped from, where it shipped to, and the quantity that was transferred. You have a history of lot details, so what's available for each lot in each warehouse. If there's any allocations against that lot, those will be listed here. There's also a sales history. And also a history of any inventory adjustments that were made. So what type of adjustments were made, what user made the adjustments and when, and specifics around what that adjustment was. There's also a report in the custom reports menu called warehouse transfer log, and that allows you to see a history of all warehouse transfers from each of the available warehouses.